Assalamu alaikum everyone. So we've had a lot of people in the comments ask us why we're homeschooling, especially in Medina. It may seem confusing to people since in the West, most people are homeschooling because they want to protect their children. They don't want their kids exposed to things that public schools are teaching. And so it makes sense why Muslims are homeschooling more in the West. They're wondering like, why are we homeschooling in Medina when Medina is like such a beautiful, blessed land with like, you know, Muslim curriculum, obviously. And today I'm going to be talking about, inshallah, a few points on why we personally homeschool our kids. Just a disclaimer, this is not judgment for anybody that does not homeschool. We definitely understand that not everybody can homeschool their kids, and that's okay. So we're gonna start with the most obvious reason, and it is because currently there are restrictions on a visitor visa. You are not allowed to enter your children into a public school system, but we have also considered putting them into public schools once we get our iqamah, inshallah, which, you know, everybody wants to eventually get, even if they arrive here on a visitor visa. Many people's goals are to get an iqamah so they are able to use the public, you know, services, school systems, and all of that good stuff. However, even if we do get iqamah, inshallah, we do plan on continuing to homeschool our children. So while this is one of the reasons why we don't, it is definitely not the only reason. Another reason is, while Medina is, you know, the most beautiful city, Allahumma barik, the school system here just doesn't really align with our children's needs. It's a lot more rigid, I would say. Just the entire school system, the classes are bigger. You know, it's a lot more, it'll take a lot of adjusting for our children to kind of get used to that. And we didn't really want to put them in a stressful situation this way. And so, especially coming, you know, when we left the US, we left everything they've ever known, their friends, their family, all their comfort. So we were homeschooling there. So we decided to continue here and not even look into putting them into school, even when we are legally able to, just because the school system just is not up to par with what we want for our children, inshallah. And there are a lot of schools here, alhamdulillah, Allahumma barik. There are so many schools. We are always driving by so many schools here. So it's not really a lack of schools or resources. It's more our own family's personal choice to continue with the homeschooling ways that we've been doing, the curriculums we've been doing, and just the style and goals that our family has. So besides obviously wanting to protect our children in the US, which is why we pulled them out of school and started homeschooling when we lived back in Iowa, another reason is because we truly believe that homeschooling gave more time to be with our kids and to spend time with them, and kind of, you know, like the parents are the biggest teachers in a child's life. So we knew that like putting them in a school, even if it is, you know, a school in Medina with Muslims all around you, with Muslims all around them, it's still, we are not able to kind of raise them the way we want, because it's such a long day. Like school days are such long days, right? Like they'll spend 8 hours in school, and we'll have like, you know, traffic here is just crazy. Just going to school, even on our way to Haram, when we leave during school hours, it takes us so much longer to get anywhere because there's so much traffic. So we would be spending the majority of our day, you know, taking them to school and then having them spend all day in school and then taking them back. So that would take up the majority of our day. And we feel like we can benefit our children more by teaching them at home, having kind of a very, I want to say like a very focused school day where we just get things done. You know, we don't have to teach like 30, 40 kids at once. It's just our children, their interests, they finish what they need to do, and then the day's over and we can do other things. We can focus on other things in our life, which we feel are important as well. So time management is a really big reason why we homeschool. Even in the US, this was a big thing. We did not believe in just sending our kids for 8 hours a day to just sit at a desk. We feel very strongly about this point, and that is why we will continue to homeschool, inshallah. So another reason why we are choosing the homeschool route, even here in Medina, is because we don't really like how the school system is set up all over the world. We don't believe in sitting hours doing homework, you know, having so much pressure and anxiety about failing a test. And while there are life skills, obviously, with like, you know, test taking and being in a structured environment, we feel that it is more beneficial for our kids with the way we are teaching them and the one-on-one time that we're able to give them. Like, who knows my children better than I do, right? So I'm able to kind of tailor everything to their needs. There's no pressure to perform and do better than their peers. Just that whole peer pressure thing, we don't want them to go through that, because we went through that as children and as young adults, and we don't really want to put our kids through it if we don't have to. So just being at home and teaching them at home, it's a lot more of a relaxed environment. It's less pressure on them, and I feel like they perform a lot better when they don't feel like they have to keep up a certain standard, or like, you know, they have friends who are doing better than them. And you know, especially in the Arab world, I will say the testing system and everything like that is a lot more stricter. So, and it's like a lot of pressure. And so I don't feel like that is very necessary for children, especially our kids' age. We know a lot of people often wonder, like, if you're homeschooling your kids, how do they get, you know, any social time? How do they get to make friends and socialize? And I will say, alhamdulillah, one of the biggest blessings moving here is finding a beautiful community of expat homeschoolers. Allahumma barik. We have made the most amazing friends. My children have made more friends here in the past months that we've been here than they did in, you know, the years in the US. The friendships are genuine, and we have so much fun together. We've recently started a co-op for them where they get together once a week and do things together in an Islamic environment. And we don't feel at all that, you know, they're missing out on any social events or, like, you know, activities or anything like that. In fact, they are a lot more social here in Medina than they were back in the US. So alhamdulillah, in that regard, we feel very blessed to be able to have a community here that is like-minded. And so we don't really see a need to send them to school just to socialize, when we're able to kind of handpick who we want them around, and they're still able to get an education and still make friends and have a social life. But instead of like just throwing them into, or instead of just like putting them into school and, you know, you don't really know what's going on over there, you don't know what the kids are like or anything like that, we're able to put them around people that we know are, like, you know, good, genuine people, Allahumma barik. And so just having that choice and that autonomy over, like, who our kids are friends with, you know, al-mar'u ala deen khalilih. So, like, it's very important for us to be able to know who their friends are. So these are just some of the reasons why we decided to homeschool even here in Medina. You know, it's not going to work for all families. Not all families want to homeschool, and that's okay too. There is no judgment at all about people who send their kids to school. Every family is different, and every family is allowed to make that choice for their own family. And inshallah, I hope this video helped, you know, answer some of those questions. If you are planning to move here to Medina and kind of wondering how it is, we know, like, okay, Saudi Arabia does not have a homeschooling. It's not a thing. It's not a legal thing. People don't homeschool here like they do in the West. So it's kind of hard to explain to people here that are not expats why we homeschool, or like what homeschooling even is. But alhamdulillah, we hope to kind of like pave the way for more expats moving here and kind of normalize homeschooling for people that are living here, inshallah. And if you guys want to see, like, you know, a day in the life of what it's like to homeschool here in Medina, and what things we do and what resources are available, inshallah, let us know in the comments below. And if you guys would also like to see a walkthrough of the curriculums we've been using, we've discovered a lot of new and beautiful curriculums, inshallah, that I would love to share with you guys. Let me know, inshallah, in the comments if you guys want to see that. And we will see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.